Hey guys, I've got an iPhone 12 on the table today. The reason why this screen is really dim is because I was just popping the screen on to see if this phone would work. This phone did need a new battery and it did need a new screen. And it does need a new frame, which I am going to be replacing that today. So this phone is basically going to get rebuilt, but it'll be a perfectly working iPhone 12 after that. This is a pre-built frame basically. All this frame has the buttons and some of the antennas and sensors already installed. This is going to be a lengthy process. You better dedicate a good few hours of your day to do this, especially if you don't do this often. But let's start from the top. I'm going to take up this front facing module that contains the Face ID. This is an irreplaceable part. Don't break it. Got another Phillips on the end of the motherboard. And then after that, we've got another Phillips on the end bottom side of the motherboard that can come out. That's that long boy. Don't try to put that in a short screw, otherwise you'll be going through a motherboard. It's not a good idea. Two flex cables can be unplugged. The charging port cable. This is the first phone that really did anything like that. If you want to take up this motherboard, first you might want to take up this little flex cable right here that is kind of taped down with this little sticky heat stuff. Now this flex cable stays with the phone, but there's another flex cable that runs down here that goes to the 5G antenna. It does not unplug from the motherboard for some reason, so you would have to take up the tape that protects the battery on this side of here and pull 3 screws and disconnect that 5G antenna. This bracket basically falls off. This piece is going to have 2 little wedges right here that keeps the antenna in place. I think only the 12 series has these. I don't know about the 13. I don't remember the 13s doing anything like that. Typically what I like to do to separate that is I'll put just a little alcohol first. Just a little bit, and then I'll take a little plastic tool, if I can find one, and just separate these two. There we go. This part right here will come up with the motherboard. There we go. So I'll go ahead and remove these 2 screws that retains this bracket. After the bracket comes up, there is a standoff screw ready to be pulled. After that, if you already didn't, there's another little tri-wing screw right here that's ready to come up. This guy is ready to go. After you get the SIM tray up, it will free the access to this standoff screw. We can go ahead and pull up the speaker assembly. Speaker assembly has 4 screws holding it down, and there's no connectors. It's just contact pads somewhere on the charging port. There's another standoff screw on the right side of the Apple branded vibrator. On the other side of the speaker, where it once was, is another standoff screw. Make sure this standoff screw goes back in before the speaker. Otherwise, you'll be screwing your Phillips into the void. Tri-wing that's on the bottom corner, securing the charging port. Same thing with this one. After you lose your Phillips screw under the Apple branded vibrator, you can go ahead and take up the Apple branded vibrator and put that onto your magnetic pad. 2 more tri-wings, another tri-wing on the top of the charging port, also securing down this little plate. You basically push this plate, push it towards the charge port. It's a little bit of a wiggle action, but thankfully they give you a little bit of room for play. So this retains the, pretty sure that might be a microphone. I don't really know what that is. I don't really care. After you get those up, there are 2 more standoff screws. One on this side of the array of sensors, also securing down the charge port. Same thing on the other side of the charge port. It looks like there are 2 screws on the other side of the charge port that looks like may need to come up. These screws, they've got a mind of their own. I'm telling you, man, these screws are working for Tim Cook. Take up these 2 charging port screws. And for whatever reason, we'll do step number 1 at the end of step 104. Okay, and this little piece that we pulled off those little array of sensors, we'll go ahead and pull that up. That's adhesive, but this is present on the other one, so we won't give that too much focus. So I got the heat pad out. Typically what I like to do whenever I'm taking up these charge ports is I'll put it on the heat pad, basically let it bake just a little bit, but I'll use some alcohol and just basically douse the entire charge port until it gets up to temperature. Okay. Nice and easy. Don't want to put a whole lot of flex on there. There are surface mount components. There we go. Alright, now where's my tweezers? Okay, now I will give all of my undivided attention to that microphone. Let's see, did it come with the adhesive? Okay, yeah, the adhesive came with it. Perfect. This typically comes up with heat. It's just really adhered down with some adhesive, but it comes up with heat typically. This phone is now, or this frame is now completely ready to retire until I probably figure out that I forgot something out of the way. So I'll go ahead and slide this guy in. Maybe I'll be able to slide it in. Looks like it doesn't. Oh, okay. Alrighty, go ahead and pop this guy down. And go ahead and pop in those bottom screws. If there's any project in this world that will test your patience, it will be iPhone screws. Remember how I said I got all the adhesive in there still? Oh. I forgot to take up the other stuff. Alrighty, that microphone will come in nice and loud and clear. Now this is where the fun begins, is where we can do trial and error and make sure that we are putting all of our parts back in the same spots that they rightfully came out in. So there's that standoff screw right here for this plate that will pop onto here. On this plate we have a Phillips. Is it a Phillips? No, it's a tri-wing. I keep trying to call it a pentalobe for some reason. My brain's not particularly turned on today. Let's go try to mosey around until we get it screwed down. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and grab these two little tri-wings to secure down the other side of this plate that secures down the microphone. I'll go ahead and just pop on the Apple branded vibrator. This little guy right there. Alrighty, perfect. Now I'll go ahead and plug in that right there. And remembering based off of memory, I'll go ahead and put in this standoff screw in first, and then you would think the other one, but no. Now the SIM tray goes in, and then the other standoff. Put that little tri-wing off here. Alrighty, now we'll go ahead and put that little bracket back on there, nice and professional like, and pop on that tri-wing that goes into the side of the frame right here. Not off the top of my head I remember, but I believe it's this one right here. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and get the standoff screw, put that in before the speaker. There we go. Now the speaker has all 4 mounting points to screw in to secure down that speaker. Okay, now we have the charging port completely installed. I'll go ahead and flex these guys back just a little bit and get it ready for the motherboard. Oh, not to flex these guys too hard. You don't want to flex these ones too hard because they break easy. They break so ungodly easy. Actually, I think I might have just broken this one. Yeah, this one is broken. I am not going to be using this, I believe, light level sensor, if not some sort of sensor. It's a sensor of some sort. I'm not particularly too sure. I don't think it's viable to Face ID, so it can be replaced. Yeah, these things break kind of easy. I'm not going to use that. That's trash now. So I'll be bringing back this, I said, retired frame, and I will be pulling this said retired sensor off of here, and I will be putting it on the new frame, but I will not put it on yet. I'll put the motherboard in first. That actually already looks broken. Good thing that I didn't break that one yet. Yeah, that might have been broken during the initial damage. I don't know. I'll look back in the video and see if I broke it or not. I'm pretty sure the answer will be right here somewhere. Finagle with all these flex cables, just making sure they all go in their right spots. Okay, there we go. Go ahead and fold this one down carefully. I won't be too violent with it. And then there we go. And then I can go ahead and pop that guy back in. I'll go ahead. Oh, I almost did it. go ahead and pop this guy back in, and then pop this guy back in. This probably is the flash cable of some sort. And this one right here is the volume buttons and the mute switch and the power button. There we go. The charging port, flex, and then now I'll go ahead and pop in all the 5G stuff. And now for the top one. Perfect. Alrighty. Now I'll go ahead, secure down this motherboard just a little bit more than it already is, plug in that charging port deal, and then plug in the SIM tray reader. And then now that can have its little bracket installed back on it. Okay, the motherboard screws are these Phillips. These are these really long ones. They are kind of clear. It's kind of easy to tell if a long screw goes in there because looking in there, it's a pretty deep socket. So I'll go ahead and put this one here. It looks like there's only two of them. And it looks like there might be that standoff screw, one of the first ones I took off. It might not need to even come off. It might just literally just be a standoff. Perfect. Now I'll go ahead and pop on this thing that I basically broke. The hard part's over. Now I just need to go ahead and pop on this Face ID stuff and prep everything for a screen swap. I'm gonna turn on that heat pad and I'm gonna bake the screen. The screen is ruined, so I don't care what happens to it. So okay, now go ahead and just real quick, better not forget about that, otherwise that will be rather embarrassing. Pop on these cameras and pop in their two corresponding connectors, and then we'll go ahead and proceed on with putting in this plate. Get in this one. Now this thing did need a new battery. This is an OEM battery. I don't remember where it came from, but it is OEM. I think it's got like 90% battery health left in it. It's perfectly fine for it to serve as second term. Even though this is OEM, the second I install it, the phone's still gonna claim that it's not an original or can't be verified, mostly because I don't actually have the software to pair that battery to this iPhone. This adhesive is kind of tough, so I won't use a whole lot of it. I'll actually plug in the battery first, so just be clear of all the other connectors. Pop the battery down so that it stays nice and secure, and then lift up that battery. The reason why I do that is so that the battery connector, I don't have to finagle with it and put that connector under any tension whenever it's finished. I'm pretty sure it's all tri-wings and a couple of Phillips. So I'll go ahead, pull off these screws right here. It's a little bit of alcohol, never hurts. There we go. And then go ahead and lift up on this very gently. And then after that, perfect. Pull up that. And then this whole thing is ready to go. And then we can go ahead and clean up those sensors. Look at those little dirty sensors. They collect some stuff. Looks like this phone might have had a broken screen before it was completely totaled. Here's the new screen. It is a mobile-centric aftermarket screen. It's not the best screen in the world. It is a hard OLED, so they do break a little bit easier, but I think it will be perfectly fine for personal use. Now it's sealing time. Go ahead and put this on here. Nice and easy. Get one chance with these guys. And it looks like I blew mine. Oh no. Can I save it? I think I can. I think it's all good, kind of. It doesn't look good though, that's for sure. I don't think I can save it. Nope, not using this one. Cut. Let's try this again. There we go. Alright, let's just act like this is the first one. Let's get this nice and in, nice and aligned. There we go. Okay. Perfect. First try, right guys? Yeah, first try. Totally didn't try it for the second time. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, perfect. Wrist down nice and easy. There we go. There. Now we'll go ahead and pull up this part. I thought I was taking up everything. Alright, Perfect. I'm just going to go ahead and test and make sure that everything is working properly. Mostly the Face ID. I'm actually curious to see if Face ID is still working. It shouldn't be bad, but we'll see. More for your phone. Face ID issue detected. Finish setting up your phone. iCloud. Important display message. Important battery message. The Face ID thing took me by surprise. What's going on with it? General? Oh no. Let's see. Will Face ID activate? Well, the Face ID stuff comes up even though it just said it's not working. Okay, so the Face ID thing actually went away. Get this one started. Stuff for the adhesive. Nice and easy. Like, this is not the OEM adhesive. I cannot find OEM adhesive for this phone. For some reason, it is nowhere to be found. Stuff from a certain supplier, which is for some reason $60 for a 50 pack. Here we go. Perfect. Now, go ahead and pop in these two bottom screws. Can come to an end. Perfect. Now go ahead and power this guy back up. We now have a fully working, basically almost refurbished. Oh, forgot one more thing. I've got the aftermarket. Okay, yeah. Got the SIM tray right here. That goes in very roughly, but there we go. I might laser etch the serial number or the IMEI number on that one for future keeping, but here we go. We now have a iPhone 12 restored and ready to see another life.